Hey guys, Allie here. So today's video is, what are the benefits of the ketogenic diet? Well, let's explore. So the first one is, the obvious one, is going to be weight loss, and especially the abdominal fat that a lot of us experience, as well as those love handles. I've not only found that my abdominal fat has decreased, my love handles, but this little poofy pocket that I always had of fat right there as I had gained weight, going away. And I'm so excited because I feel so much more comfortable in tanks and different types of shirt I was wearing, because that was kind of just, I don't know, one of those things that just bugged me, that that's a place that I had stored fat, was back there. So another area is PCOS. So basically, if you're having trouble with infertility or painful PMS, likely related to a hormone called insulin. And as a result, so when we regulate insulin, then that tends to regulate and balance out our other hormones as well. So all of a sudden you're finding that estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are returning to closer to normal or to normal level, as well as cortisol and ghrelin. What's ghrelin? Ghrelin is actually known also as the hunger hormone. When insulin gets triggered, that can trigger ghrelin to make you think that you're hungry when you're really not. I'll probably make a separate video just on ghrelin and explain a little bit more about that hormone. Another benefit is mental clarity. A lot of people over the years have been using fasting actually for mental clarity or spiritual reasons. So they may just do it to become more disciplined in different areas, whether it's in their faith or in, again, mental acuity. And so what happens when we do fasting, especially a water fast, is after several hours to especially days of fasting, we will get into what's called ketosis. Now, that's not ketoacidosis. That's actually dangerous. But ketosis is actually safe and something that we can enter into just by doing fasting for several hours or days. The longer you fast, the more you get into ketosis and find some good benefits from that. What happens is when we get into that state of ketosis, we'll actually find that our brain fog starts to lift and we get a lot more mental clarity through the process, and that is really nice. We'll also find a decrease in type 2 diabetes and the risk of type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes essentially is a result of having too much carbs for too long of a period of time. That causes our insulin receptors to become insensitive to insulin due to the overload that is constantly being bombarded on it. Just not only the types of foods that we're eating, but also the frequency by which we're eating. And then this will ultimately lead us to insulin resistance. And I will do a separate video on insulin resistance. So over time of doing the ketogenic diet as well as intermittent fasting, we can repair this process and become more insulin sensitive again. But it may take some time, especially depending on how metabolically damaged we are. So here's some other benefits: less inflammation, more insulin sensitive, sleep better, mental clarity as we just went over, less mood swings, less cravings, especially for sugars and carbs and things that aren't really good for us anyway, less allergy, increased sex drive, better hair, skin, and nails, and our bowel movements will tend to be more regular and healthy. And there's so many other things that it helps with. I mean, just the testimonies that are out, heart conditions and a lot of the inflammatory conditions that we experience. A lot of the conditions we experience, period, is derived from inflammation in our body. So much of it comes from the cortisol getting triggered that triggers the insulin, foods that we eat that trigger the insulin. And so you're kind of seeing a pattern here that insulin continues to get triggered, and then that throws us into a bad physical state with a lot of diseases and conditions that we have. A lot of people that have been on medications will tend to get off of those meds because they find that they don't need them anymore. But again, I will need to do a video about the safe way to decrease some of the meds that you're on, because some meds need to be decreased gradually versus just abruptly stopping them, which can be actually a little bit dangerous depending on the type of drug it is and how long you've been on it. So weight loss and increased energy are a really nice perk to being on the ketogenic diet. But honestly, it's such a small thing when you compare it to all the health benefits that can actually come from being on the ketogenic diet. I mean, who doesn't want nice, healthy looking hair and skin and nails? I've heard the longer that you're on it, you actually, and I've noticed it myself, you will find less plaquing on your teeth, just because there's not so many sugars that are actually feeding the bacteria in there that's creating the plaque on your teeth. So big perk. There's some dental health issues that will get corrected as well by doing that. And just repairs in your digestive tract and repairs just at the cellular level, just repairs all over your body that are going to be going on It's not an overnight process. The more damaged your body is, the longer it can take for you to do this. But the other factor that's going to play into this is the quality of foods that you're putting in. Is it good healthy fats you're putting in, or is it still the bad fats? Is it that you're sneaking in sugars from time to time still and creating that insulin spike? Are your meals too close together that's causing the insulin to spike just from eating your meals so frequently? So many factors that we have to look at, but once we get it nailed down and once we stay on this ketogenic diet for a while, I do believe that we're going to have the testimonies that I see other people having. For me, I've already noticed some changes in my body just in the energy level. I've noticed my skin is starting to clear up and it's looking younger, and that's nice. I still have a ways to go because there is a lot of metabolic destruction in my body. My adrenal glands have been shot for so long now that it will take some time for those to heal and repair. Not putting the bad foods, the inflammatory foods, and the foods that are just causing my insulin to continually spike is going to be a good thing. I do think that there are external sources that cause our adrenal glands to fire off and release the cortisol, but I think that there's internal stuff as well. If our body feels like it's under constant stress, internally, I believe that that'll cause our cortisol levels to fire off as well. It feels like it's under attack and chronic inflammation going on in our bodies. That cannot be a state that our body believes is homeostasis, which is a nice, balanced, plateau place of peace. So if our body's fighting anything chronically for a long period of time, I do believe that that will trigger the cortisol, which will continue to trigger the insulin, which can create this vicious, nasty cycle that we can get in. But it's all reversible. The big thing about these benefits that I mentioned, and so many health benefits to ketogenic diet, I've only touched on just a few of them here. But honestly, if we just will be patient and give it time, really all we've got is our health to gain out of this. We didn't get into this situation overnight, and I don't think that we're going to get out of it overnight either. The hardest part is sticking to it and not going back to the foods that we were eating. The health of our bodies long term is critical, especially if we want to live long lives. If we don't want to be dependent on the healthcare system, the cost is going up all the time. If we don't want to be dependent on meds, because there's so many things that can go wrong, even just taking our meds correctly. Who really wants to get older and be more dependent on a system and on drugs? The nice thing about getting older, I think, is that you get to rest more, you get to relax more, you get to enjoy life more. But if you're constantly sick and going to the doctors and needing to be on meds and having side effects from the med and having to take more meds to create more side effects, that's nuts. And that's not the way most of us want to live. And that's not the way we were created and designed to live. So I hope as we continue going through this that I will be able to continue to report better things. I am seeing better changes in my body. It's 12 weeks into this. That's really, really early in the process, I believe, for how much my body needs to go through the repair stage. I still am not eating all the right foods and taking all the right supplements that I need to, which is going to slow down that process a little bit. But I will get there. I'm going to be patient with my body. I don't believe that it's the keto and the intermittent fasting that are failing or that I'm struggling with. I just know that I'm lacking getting all the things in place for it to work optimally. As I plug those things in place, I know that everything is just going to keep getting better and better over time. So I look forward to reporting that to you. If you're on this journey simply for weight loss, that's awesome. It's a great weight loss tool. It's a healthy weight loss tool. But if you start noticing the health changes, I think you're going to be inspired to actually see more health changes and just better improved overall health over the long period of time. So that's it for this video. I hope you found this helpful. And if you liked it, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down below. If you can think of even more health benefits that I haven't even mentioned here, because there's so many, feel free to drop those down below too. And if you have subscribed to this channel already, thank you so much for doing so. If you haven't, I hope you'll do so to join me on this journey and stay tuned for more videos like this one. If you decide to share this for any reason, thanks so much for helping me reach other people and help them. That's a wrap for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.